Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar and 4 others have been killed after an aircraft carrying them crashed in Pune district today morning. A team that's probing the plane crash is already at the site in Baramati. Now, this incident occurred when a Learjet 46 plane carrying Ajit Pawar and others crash landed in Baramati. The investigation is on and the cremation is expected to take place tomorrow. The Chief Minister of the state, Devendra Fadnavis, and the Deputy Chief Minister of the state, Eknath Shinde, have already met the grieving family members of Ajit Pawar. You're watching NDTV and we are closely tracking as to what really caused this tragedy. First up, the headlines. The last rites of Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar, killed in a plane crash, will be held with full state honours tomorrow, is what we understand. This will happen in Baramati, the stronghold of the Pawars in Pune district. What happened today morning? The flight that was carrying Ajit Pawar and 5 others took off from Mumbai around 8:10 a.m. is what we understand from official records. It disappeared from the radar around 8:45 a.m. There were about 5 people on board when the aircraft crashed at 8:50 a.m. That's what officials have told NDTV. Ajit Pawar was travelling from Baramati. He was travelling to Baramati from Mumbai and he was supposed to address public meetings as part of the campaign for February 5th Zilla Parishad elections. Ajit Pawar, 66 years old, Maharashtra's longest serving Deputy Chief Minister, has passed away in an air crash near his hometown, near his constituency, Baramati, that brings his political career spanning 40 years to an abrupt end.
Plane was coming from that side and it had to land from here, and that's the airstrip over here on the left side of mine. यहाँ पर आप देखें कि ये आपको जो तस्वीरें मैं दिखा दूं कि ये एयरस्ट्रिप है, यानी कि ये जो रनवे है और इस रनवे पर इस प्लेन को लैंड होना था। यहाँ पर ऐसे कोई सहूलियत नहीं है कि यहाँ पर एक जो अत्याधुनिक जो चीज़ें होती है वैसी कुछ नहीं है। एक मेकशिफ्ट यहाँ पर एयरपोर्ट और रनवे बनाया गया है क्योंकि बारामती में ऐसा कोई एयरपोर्ट मौजूद नहीं है, तो ये इस तरीके से ये रोड यहाँ पर बना हुआ है, वो रनवे मौजूद है। एंड व्हाट द ऑफिशियल्स आर टेलिंग अस दैट इन द मॉर्निंग देयर वाज लॉट ऑफ मिस्ट एंड द रनवे वाज नॉट विजिबल एट ऑल। रिमेंबर द प्लेन वाज कमिंग फ्रॉम दैट साइड। यहाँ पर जो ठीक पीछे जो मेरी तस्वीर देख रहे हैं उस जगह से इस प्लेन को आना था। पहले राउंड में जब ये प्लेन यहाँ पर आता है, ऑन द फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट द पायलट टू द एटीसी ऑफिशियल क्लियरली सेड दैट द रनवे इज नॉट विजिबल। पायलट ने साफ तौर पे एटीसी को कहा कि मुझे रनवे नहीं दिख रहा है, बहुत धुंध है। तो आई विटनेस हमें बता रहे हैं कि प्लेन बहुत नजदीक आ गया था एंड देन इट हैड टू मेक अ गो राउंड फ्रॉम दिस प्लेस। So after making a go round, it came back again. Even then the pilot said that the visuals of runway are not clearly visible. And then there was no contact with the pilot and the ATC. Here you can see, and then it crashed at this particular place. Now the NDRF team is over here. There are also several other officials who are present over here. The area is completely cordoned off. Over here you can see how this particular airstrip has been made. It's a makeshift airstrip over here, and it missed the airstrip and it has crashed over here.
Well, Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis and Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Eknath Shinde met family of Ajit Pawar. Ajit Pawar died today morning in a horrible air crash that happened near Baramati, which is the stronghold of the Pawars. Those visuals there of Devendra Fadnavis, the Chief Minister, and Eknath Shinde, the Deputy Chief Minister, meeting Supriya Sule, the Baramati MP and also the cousin of Ajit Pawar. She arrived in Baramati today afternoon and she was in Delhi for the Parliament session, for the budget session. That's Sunetra Pawar there, the wife of Ajit Pawar, visibly shaken, all of them. And also the governor of the state, Acharya Devvrat, who's also there. Remember that Devendra Fadnavis also visited the site where the accident took place, where the tragedy unfolded. And from there, he also came to meet the family members of Ajit Pawar. The crowds there, locals with the picture of Ajit Pawar, these scenes are coming in from Baramati there. Remember that these are locals of Baramati. Baramati is often, Ajit Pawar is often credited with building Baramati into a constituency, into a model constituency. He is known for undertaking a lot of developmental works there. He has been an MLA from this place for over 8 terms. He's also been a 6-term Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra. Preparations are going on for a cremation, for a funeral that will be held with full state honours, is what we understand. The funeral is expected to take place tomorrow. And NCP SP Chief Sharad Pawar, along with NCP Working President Praful Patel, State NCP President Sunil Tatkare and State Minister Hassan Mushrif arrived today in the hospital, and they are taking charge of the arrangements there. Mortal remains of Ajit Pawar have been kept there for people to pay their tributes to their local hero. Remember, Ajit Pawar was known as the Dada of Baramati, somebody who managed the constituency for the Pawars, but also won from there, not just as an MP for the first time in 1991, but repeatedly several times as a legislator. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Modi has paid tributes to Ajit Pawar. In the morning, he did make a call to Sharad Pawar, NCP founder, and expressed his condolences. And now he has paid tributes to Ajit Pawar, is what we understand. Prime Minister Modi spoke to Sharad Pawar in the afternoon today, and he expressed his condolences. The relationship between Mr. Sharad Pawar and Narendra Modi is well known. They are seen as people who hold each other in high respect, and those visuals there of Supriya Sule, Baramati MP, and also Working President of NCP SP with the family members of Sharad Pawar mourning the death of Ajit Pawar. Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister and Nationalist Congress Party Chief Ajit Pawar has tragically died in a jet crash near his home city of Baramati. But the flight tracking data that we have shows that his business aircraft took off from Mumbai airport at around 8:10 a.m. today morning. And then 35 minutes later, it crashed in an area that was certainly hilly. And this happened near Baramati at around 8:46 a.m. today morning. The aircraft's flight trajectory doesn't show any abnormal patterns. This is what primary assessment of the ADSP data suggests. But what we understand is that 10 minutes into the flight, it achieved at an altitude of more than 6 kilometers. It was flying at a speed of over 1,036 kilometers per hour. And the place where the jet stopped sending signals is around 20 kilometers from Baramati airport, where it was supposed to make a landing. Now remember that this airport is not for common people. It's only used for private and chartered planes. Now the bigger question that arises is that did the aircraft suffer any mid-air failure? Was there a technical glitch at the last minute? Remember, the Civil Aviation Minister has already said that there could have been visibility issues, but a team from the AAIB is investigating this tragedy. My colleague Saurabh Gupta joins us with more details on this. Saurabh, in the last few hours, several details have emerged on what happened in the last few hours of the tragedy, how the plane crashed. These are preliminary details. The investigation is still on. Speculations are rife. But as somebody who understands aircrafts and their working, what do you think could have happened, and where do you think things went wrong? Saurabh, if you can hear us, as somebody who covers the aviation sector also, can you explain to us, with all the data that we have with regard to what
didn't indicate that something was wrong with the aircraft till the very last moment. But when they didn't read back the ATC instructions that they were cleared to land on runway 11, that perhaps is the point where one can imagine that something was already wrong, because it is standard practice.
स्टेजच्या मागच्या बाजूला जे लोक उभे आहेत त्यांना विनंती आहे पवार कुटुंबियांना येण्याकरता.
Well, as I was explaining, till the very last moment, the pilots didn't seem to indicate that there was anything wrong with the plane. In fact, when they didn't read back the ATC's instructions to, for clearance to land, that was when things are suspected to have gone wrong. But before that, there was a go-around. Now, go-around is a standard practice in aviation. It can happen for multitude of reasons. It can happen because of glitches, change in wind direction, runway incursions, many reasons. But currently, all of those questions are what's on the minds of the thousands of supporters of Ajit Pawar who've gathered here at the Vidya Pratishthan grounds. Now, at the center of this ground, you can see there's a structure being constructed. That's where the last rites of Maharashtra's departed Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar will be held. Here on stage, of course, you can see there are preparations for a salute, an official salute to the departed leader. And there are several leaders cutting across party lines. I can see Pratap Sarnaik from the Eknath Shinde-led Shiv Sena, Sunil Tatkare, who's of course a very senior leader of the Nationalist Congress Party. Then you also have others who are here, Zishan Siddiqui, and several other leaders, including Dhananjay Munde, all here. There's a picture of Ajit Pawar here, and there are, of course, his cabinet colleagues, his supporters who've turned out in huge numbers at the Vidya Pratishthan grounds here, where the funeral also will be held. Preparations are on for the salute as well. And this is, of course, the grounds where people are still trickling in. One expects that the crowd will remain here overnight, because the funeral will, of course, take place tomorrow. The dignitaries are expected here tomorrow. But you can see, of course, already a huge crowd gathering here to pay their last respects, to offer their prayers for Ajit Pawar, who tragically lost his life in that plane crash. And this is a massive blow, not just to the NCP, but to the NCP patriarch Sharad Pawar. Now, while there may have been differences between the Pawars, you could see the grief on Sharad Pawar's body language in his face when he arrived at Baramati. And of course, Ajit Pawar was groomed by Sharad Pawar. Of course, there may have been differences, but today, of course, you could see the grief amongst the entire Pawar family. The Pawar family is also here in a short while, and of course you can see lakhs and thousands of supporters turning up to pay their respects to Ajit Pawar. But going back to your question on the plane, now the plane did do a go-around. Go-around is standard operating procedure. If there's a problem in landing, if the pilots think that it's not safe to land, there was a mention of visibility issues, something that the Civil Aviation Minister also referred to. But beyond that, there wasn't anything that indicated that things were going fatally wrong or critically wrong, because the pilots were communicating with the ATC. Now, this is not a full-fledged ATC. This is a smaller airport, around 1,700 meters of runway. It's, of course, controlled by the flying, organizations, flying training organizations that operate here. But there was communication till the very last minute. But where the communication seems to have stopped is the part where the plane was cleared to land, and as it is in aviation, a standard practice, pilots always repeat. It's called a readback of the instructions, give it to them, just to make sure that everyone's on the same page and they've heard the instructions clearly. That critical clear to land readback did not happen, and within a couple of minutes the plane was on the ground, burst into flames, and leading to the loss of lives of not just the Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Ajit Pawar, but also the two pilots on board, and also the flight attendant and the security officer as well. So obviously a huge moment of grief for Baramati. Ajit Pawar had groomed Baramati just like his uncle Sharad Pawar did, and he's seen here as an accessible leader, someone who's missed by these crowds. You can see, of course, the grief on people's faces as well. Many of them spending a lot of time here, coming in since the afternoon in anticipation that they would be able to say their final goodbye to Ajit Pawar. And there, of course, are preparations on for the funeral here. At the center of the ground is the construction for the funeral pyre. Lots of dignitaries are expected to attend. The police, of course, salute is ready here. As the body arrives, there would be a salute. Remember, all protocols that are conducted in state funerals are also ready to say goodbye to Ajit Pawar. And for people of Baramati, it's a huge, huge grief moment, a moment of grief.